Welcome to April and Debbie Dish the Truth on Weight Loss, where we share the raw, real, and sometimes messy truth about our weight loss journeys.
I am Debbie, a weight loss coach who has lost 100 pounds and have been living my life in maintenance for 4 years.
And I'm April, a weight loss coach currently down 75 pounds and continuing my journey to lose 100 more.
Together, we'll explore the ups, downs, and everything in between, showing you that lasting weight loss is possible no matter where you are on your path.
Yes, and today we're going to talk about the importance of self care, timeouts, and just taking time just for you and no one else.
I love that.
Mhm.
E- I want to jump right in on this because there are so many people who think that doing nothing is doing nothing, right? And I think that doing nothing is doing something because when I used to think that I had to be on the go, 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 go all the time, like look for activities. I got to go do this. And if I stay home, I'm just being lazy. And you know what? It's not like when I have learned that sitting on the couch, watching TV, coloring, whatever I'm doing is doing something. It's recharging my body. It's giving me time to decompress, and it's allowing my brain to not be full for a little bit, right? Like just to turn off. And I really want people to hear that and embrace it because we do so often judge ourselves for sitting on the couch or sleeping in or going to bed early. And like I have a friend who won't go to bed before 8 because even if they're tired, because they feel like, "I shouldn't be going to bed at 7. That's ridiculous." Well, you know what? If you are tired and you're not doing anything else, go to bed. Who's judging you, right? Like, you're listening to your body, you're tired, and it's okay. We're adults. We get to pick our bedtime, we get to pick what time we get up, we get to pick all the things.
It's true. And I don't think it's a coincidence that many people who are overweight have a connection of being a person who identifies as a caretaker. I'm always taking care of everybody else. I'm not good unless I'm taking care of somebody else. The correlation to that type of personality and being overweight is because you are not taking care of you. That is so important. And many times people will refer to when you're on an airplane, what do they tell you to do? They tell you to
Mhm.
put your face mask on first.
Yeah.
It's such an easy analogy to connect it to because it's the ideal example. You have to be able to be breathing and okay to take care of somebody else. So
Yeah.
taking those timeouts, taking those naps, whatever it is that works for you, taking a long shower. I love to take showers with like candles on and music and the lights off and just like have the hot water roll over me. Just feels nice to me and it relaxes me. But when you're overweight and you're saying all the time, we kind of wear it like a badge of honor, but really it's a little bit, I don't know if the right word's martyrish, but it really signifies that you're not taking time for you and it's evident and showing on your body. Your body's telling you that you're not giving you what you need.
Yes. And she speaks loud and clear if we listen, right? I mean, it's taking the time to listen to what she's saying. And I know that I have been judged for my love of napping. And I know you and
Mhm.
I both love a good nap. Like it is just and napping isn't lazy. It's not it's a time to recharge and re-energize and just I mean, why you love to take naps on weekends, and I think we both probably I take a nap every night before I go to bed, and sounds kinda crazy because 'cause I'm going to bed, but about 8 o'clock, I like to catch a little bit of sleep on the couch. It's like my appetizer for bed, but I do it every night, and yes, I could get up and go to bed, but it's just my body's, like, telling me this is our time to unwind, and yeah, so what's your favorite part about napping for taking that time for you?
Well, napping on the weekends is we tend to get up early and we get stuff done, food prep or errands or go out, whatever it's going to be. And then Kevin also likes to nap. So we very much look forward to we're like, how are we going to fit it in? What time? And it's a goal of ours. We both have busy weeks and mentally or physically tired. And I just like taking that extra time to just give my body rest. And also, I wake up and I feel like, oh, I have the whole rest of the day to do more stuff because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's and it's funny that you tell me that you take a nap on the couch before going to bed. My mom did that and it used to drive me nuts. And she's like, April, it's just and now I get to go to my second sleep. She would call going to bed her second sleep.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Sofa was the first sleep. But it's, yeah, so I just enjoy getting extra rest and, snuggles and the bed, and it's very cozy and comforting to me to be wrapped up in a blanket, and so I really enjoy that aspect of it too, and sometimes the cat will come on the bed and sleep with us, and it's just super cute.
Yeah, it's your time, and I love that you and Kevin talk about how you're going to fit it in, and I
Mhm,
think that that is such an important part of making the time for ourselves, because if I had my calendar right now to look at, like, I would have appointment, 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 appointment for everybody else,
mm,
and we have no issue with that, right? Like, like you said, taking care of everybody else. But we need to schedule that time for ourselves. Like you and Kevin working on the nap time. Like in the morning, I know my brain is awake and happy and all the things. So that is my scheduled time to do the things that bring me joy. And I think taking the time to schedule going for a walk, like it's an appointment for us to take care of ourselves. We make appointments all the time to take care of everyone else, and we should be just, budgeting. They always say that you should take right off the top savings into your account to support you later. Taking time for yourself before anything else will support you later.
that's true. Yeah, and it doesn't I mean, we're talking about naps because we both love them and we do
Right,
choose
that's
to prioritize them,
yeah.
right? So that's our choice. But there are people maybe who cannot fit that into their day. Maybe they have young children or whatever. We're not necessarily saying that's the only way to do it, but anybody, no matter how busy they are, you can take 10, 15 minutes, whether you want to do a guided meditation, whether you, the quick shower, a massage, like whatever works for you, just sitting in silence. Sometimes you just want to sit in silence. That's okay too. But you're giving your body a moment to just be, right? And there is an article that I looked up on this because I was interested, and it was it's what is self-care, why is it important to you? And I'm going to go back to Debbie really quick while I look up because they made a reference that I really liked in it, and I have to look it up though.
Oh, what did you want me to? I'm sorry. Do you want me to
That's
say
okay.
something while you're looking? She's
That's
looking.
okay. I found it. In this
Okay.
person, he's saying while there is no unit of measurement for self care, I personally like to compare it to calories, which are literally units of energy. That is 1 calorie equals 1 unit of energy. So here you would take 1 unit of self care that gives you energy back. You taking a break gives you energy back to continue your day, to be more productive, to focus on the kids or your husband or whoever you're taking care of, a parent or your job or whatever it is. But we push through days at work, especially days at work. Push through days at work. People don't take a lunch break. People don't sometimes get up to go to the bathroom for themselves. Like they'll just, I'm too busy, I'm too busy. But I guarantee you, in that 10-minute break that you take to step away from your desk, go for a walk, go to the bathroom, whatever you choose to do, you're going to come back more productive than in those 10 minutes of just stressing out. I'm pretty sure that those 10 minutes are not going to make or break your project or whatever you're working on. You will still get it done. It will still be great, but you will be less stressed getting it done.
And well, first I want to say for anybody who thinks that we edit and do anything, we are just flying by the seat of our pants. So if I miss
Oh,
something, we got a little bit of silence going on, and that's how we love to roll. So
production quality at its best.
that's right. So, you know, going to the bathroom is self-care. Like it is, it's those simple things that we don't think like we think we
No.
have to sit here and have to, oh, I can't go to the bathroom. I got to get this done. But that's taking care of yourself. Like anything that you do that is taking care of you is self-care. And what I want to point out, and I think we've probably mentioned this in podcasts before, but self-care is not selfish. It is
Mhm.
taking like we have no issue taking care of somebody else, and that's not bad. But when we step to take care of ourselves, like all the thoughts come up, like we're selfish and
Yeah, and I think that's important to where always tend to talk about too is you have to listen to yourself because if society were to tell us that taking naps were positive and productive and it was budgeted into our work schedule like it is in some countries,
Mhm.
then you wouldn't feel guilty doing it and you would want to do it. It's just what our thoughts attached to it, what somebody else might be thinking. But that person isn't in your day or your body. And I do want to reference too, we're going to include the article that I'm referencing. It was from Southern New Hampshire University. So we'll include that
well,
link. I
that's
thought
an
it was a,
new.
yes, that's right. I thought it was a good read. And so we'll share that too. But it definitely comes down to what other people are thinking or what you're making it mean to you that you're taking a break. Or say you're taking care of somebody and you're supposed to be there at 3 and you call them and say, I'm not going to be there till 3:15. That might be an option. Those 15 minutes, you're still going to be there, and maybe it's not. It's just try to think of creative ways to find little chunks of time for yourself. Like sometimes this might sound strange, and there's nobody in the house waiting for me. I usually now, because my schedule's changed, Kevin gets home after me. But sometimes, because when I enter that door, I know the first thing I have to do is feed the cats
Yep.
because they're ready to eat. And sometimes I just sit in my car for a minute and I just scroll for like five minutes before I go in there, like, okay, round two, feeding the cats and cleaning the kitchen or doing dinner, exercise, or whatever I have planned for the day. But there are ways to do it. And also think of other people who might have extreme lives, right? So sometimes I like to tell myself, like, CEO executives or movie stars or whatever person you think of that you think, wow, they do so much, they still go to the gym or they still get a massage or they still get a pedicure or there's always a way. It doesn't have to be maybe every day. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe you start there or but find something for you that feels good to you that gives you time to just zen out for yourself.
I have been doing that a lot in that you talk about just quiet. I either have my radio blasting so loud that Kevin hears me coming a quarter mile down the road, or I've got nothing on. And sometimes that quietness while I'm driving allows me to hear what's going on in my head. It allows me to hear the birds. It allows me just to be more present without a distraction. And for me, that's self-care because it's just giving me time to look around. And I know a lot of people might say, especially those who just don't think that they have time, that of course other people can do it because they've got the luxury of money or they've got the luxury of somebody helping them so they can go out and do this. And, one of the things that you keep mentioning, April, is that it is 10 minutes, it's 5 minutes. Like it doesn't have to be self-care that's 2 hours long. It's just we all have the luxury of the same 24 hours in a day. We all have those same 24 hours. And we all get to choose and carve out what works for us. And I think taking the time to carve that little bit out, we always find the time to pick up a phone, call a friend and complain about what's going on at work but sometimes we can pick up the phone and just say, hey, April, how's your day today? And just a phone call with a friend is something that can recharge you and build you up. I mean, I know that every time we get on the phone or if we send each other voice messages, that's my time also to just relax, hear your voice, be in that moment. And, for me, that's self-care because it's taking the time to just give myself time.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. And there's also other ways you have to think a lot of times people will talk about organizing or cleaning their house, and that takes up time, and it does take up time. At the same time, that's another creative way that you have a choice. You are the only one that lives in your house. Even if you have family, it's your own family, right? People are not necessarily coming in on a day to day basis to check in on what you've done and what you haven't done. So I will admit that sometimes on the weekends, the laundry's done, it's time to fold it. And I'm like, not right now. I'm
Yeah.
going to do something else. And sometimes it sits there for a day or two, and it has been known to sit in the basket for a week. I will not deny it. The clothes are
Me too.
clean, and that's the best part, right?
Yeah.
But that's a time, that was effort and energy that I chose to put to the side to be able to do something else that felt better to me, that I, on my weekend, got a break. Now, food prepping for me is almost a non-negotiable. I always do food prep. So you're gonna have non-negotiables. This is going to get done. But somewhere in your day, whether it's laundry or sweeping or I don't know, whatever it might be. Um, there is something that you can choose to put on the back burner to give you a little bit of time in that moment to do something for yourself. It might not be ideal and it might not be the best perfect situation, but it doesn't have to be all the time. And that's
Mm-mm.
something I've learned because I have a little bit of OCD. So it's a big deal for me to leave laundry.
It is not for me. I grew up in a house where laundry was, I mean, we had a I wish I had a picture of our sock pile. But you know what? I can take laundry out of a laundry basket just as well as I can take it out of a closet. So you know what I mean? Like it's okay. And it's just taking that time, whatever it is. And I like that you mentioned that we get to choose. Like we can put something on the back burner to do something that's going to make us feel better, more fun. And it doesn't mean we're ignoring our responsibilities because we're not saying we are never going to do that. But right now, I am choosing to do something that feels good for me. And I in that article, you're choosing to give something to get back some energy, and I
Yeah.
think that's huge.
Yeah, you're reprioritizing. Everything, of course, is important. But
Yes.
even at work, you have to reprioritize. You could be given 10 projects. All 10 projects cannot get done in that 1 hour. So you have to prioritize what project or what pieces of each project. So you could just look at it as a reprioritization or however I said it. But laundry this week didn't get folded. The next week it did get folded because there was less to do with food prep or whatever balanced out. But look at your day creatively. And I think it was great when Debbie pointed out, when you point out, schedule it. I'm not the best scheduler of my personal time. I really don't love doing that, but I have gotten better with it and it does really help. The other thing that I've gotten good with using as a tool is setting a timer. So no matter what I'm doing, I now on the weekends specifically, because that's my free time. So say I'm food prepping, I will set the timer for an hour. And at that hour, I will assess what I've gotten done, what I have left. Am I going to continue or am I going to take a break and move on to something else? So I like to do art. It's been a long time. I took a very long break, but with the support and encouragement of my husband, I'm working towards getting back into doing art. And I set a timer. I told myself Tuesdays and Thursdays I would come up to the office and work on art. And I set a timer for the half hour. First of all, when you're doing something fun, that time goes super fast.
So fast.
So a half hour isn't really quite enough, but it had to be because that's all I had. And it felt so good. I didn't necessarily draw or paint anything of a masterpiece. I doodled and I looked at new supplies that I have because he picked some up for me and whatever. But it was still felt good. It was still, like, numbing the brain, like, I wasn't thinking about anything else because I was just drawing and just looking at the new paint pens and whatever else, and that was really good for me that day. So, setting a timer, and it also helped my brain to focus on, like, "This is what I'm doing for the next 30 minutes." That was helpful for me. Even though it was a relaxing activity, I tend to kind of my brain goes like I've referenced before, critter brain, it kinda goes in a million directions a lot of times, so me setting the timer signal to my brain, this is 30 minutes of just art time and that's what you're focused on. And that was really helpful for me as well.
The timer thing has been, huge for me too, and I haven't mentioned this on Facebook or anything, so I'm gonna mention it here. Um, Kevin and I are leaving our home state of New Hampshire, where Kevin has lived for 56 his whole entire life, and I've lived here all but 5, and, um, we are packing up and moving to Lake Havasu City, Arizona, where I have no job, I have nowhere to live quite yet, but getting very close on that. And in that, and in doing that, like I have been setting the timer to, because I don't necessarily want to go up and do certain things, but that timer has been so huge because I know I'm committing to doing 15 minutes or a half an hour or whatever it is. And I think knowing that that time is there, whether it's for your drawing, which I'm so excited that you are getting back into your drawing, or for me, like my self-care this weekend, and I really did not want to be doing this the entire time, but boy, was I so happy when it was done. Like we have pictures like in a big giant tote that have never been organized. So we bought a bunch of photo boxes and I just went through pictures and when I started, it seemed like a project, but as I was going, I realized how much of a gift of self-care it was to me because it takes you down memory lane and you see those things. So self-care and taking time for ourselves comes in so many different like we get to decide what is our self-care. And for me, that was my self-care that this past weekend.
Absolutely. I love that you did that with the pictures and stuff. And
Oh my
yes, that
gosh,
is
it was
exciting
so
news
fun.
that you're moving.
It's it's exciting news, but it will have us on opposite coasts, but as I've
Yeah.
told you, we have a bedroom for you and Kevin to come and
Yeah.
visit
Yeah.
any time. And so, yeah, it is exciting. And but through everything that we're doing, like we get to choose what we decide is self-care. And we also get to just to remember and to remind ourselves that it's not selfish. And I think that's the most important message that I want to share. And I know you do too, but like to get across, like taking care of ourselves, it's the most important job that we have because, like you said, putting the air mask on us first keeps us alive. And if we are not taking care of ourselves, we are going to be no good to anybody else. And we won't be any good to ourselves as we get older because we're just ignoring our needs sometimes.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, take time and know that it's okay. Color, buy a body wash that smells amazing and every morning you just I mean it's the little things that keep us going.
It is. I have you talk about the lotion and stuff or soap. I buy these little people often will use like bath bombs. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
love
Yeah.
taking baths, so I have these shower fizzy things and you put it in the bottom of the shower and it emits the aromatherapy and I just love them. And it makes it feel much more special in the shower, with the smells and
It's
yeah.
very lush, right? With I mean, we already like being in the shower anyway, but then to have those amazing smells and yeah,
Yeah.
it's
There's lots of ways to do it, and I think part of it too is being intentional about it. So I could just throw the shower bomb in there and not think twice about it. But I intentionally like make it special when I choose to do it. And I think that, oh yes, I'm doing this for myself. If you're choosing to watch your show, tell yourself like I'm choosing to watch this show for myself. Like on my lunch break, I have a quick lunch break. I still watch 10 minutes of Grey's Anatomy while I eat my lunch sometimes, not every day, but sometimes because it's a little escape at work and it gives me like my brain shuts off for a little bit. So just be aware and intentional about the time that you're taking for yourself and definitely want to think about it as you talk about it being selfish. It's I think that's more, again, outside voices telling us that it's selfish. And that's kind of how we're raised. Always think about other people. You're a better person if you think about other people and if you give and you take care of everybody else. But we really are in a movement of realizing that taking care of ourselves is so important. And think of it as it gives you more energy to take care of the other people that you want to, because that's really what it does. It re energizes you, your mind's clear, you have more patience. I know I have more patience when I have enough rest and sleep, and those naps help with that. So, your body needs that to function at its best.
It does, and, you talk when we are taking care of ourselves in those little steps, like the body wash, the nap, the journaling, going for a walk, all those things that are adding up to show us that we can take care of ourselves will also help our mindset to want to take care of ourselves more, in our journey to losing weight, in our journey to maintenance. Like all those little things of self-care are proof that you can take care of yourself on a bigger level too when you choose to do that.
I agree. Hmm.
Yeah. So, and I don't think we talked about what we're going to talk about next week, did we?
Nope.
So, here is my shout out to everybody who is listening. April and Debbie dish the truth at gmail.com, or you can go to our page on Facebook or Substack and ask us what you want to talk about, what you would like us to talk about next week. What are you working on? What has clicked for you that you are celebrating? Because we'd love to celebrate with you or ask questions. We're not here just for the answers. We're here to celebrate with you too.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. So next week will be a surprise, but today, keep blooming. And I have flowers on, it seems almost every time, but keep blooming because life is so much better when we are in full blossom and doing all the things to help us grow.
Yes. And as always, wake up willing to do something that feels good to you.
I love that. Thank you, everybody, and take care.
Bye.